These days, the dream of home ownership is becoming more challenging than it ever has been, especially for young people and first-time home buyers. That is why today I want to talk about a creative solution that could prove appealing to some of my viewers: co-ownership. Co-ownership is when two or more people combine their resources in order to purchase a property, whether it be a friend, family member, business partner, etc. In this video, I will go over the basics of co-ownership and discuss some of the pros and cons of this approach to home ownership. The first step is to understand the two major forms of home ownership: joint tenancy and tenants in common. Joint tenancy. In a joint tenancy, each owner has an undivided interest in the property, which means that when one joint owner passes away, their interest in the property is absorbed by the surviving joint tenants. The last surviving joint tenant owns the property in its entirety. This is the most common form of home ownership between couples with respect to the family home. The second form, tenants in common ownership, specifies the proportion of the property that each owner owns. Any division or percentages of ownership are acceptable. In this case, when a tenants in common owner passes away, their share falls into their estate and is ultimately inherited by their beneficiaries. This form of ownership is commonly used for business partners and often for family cottages that have been passed down to the generations so that they can continue to inherit proportionally to their parents' shares. This form of ownership also makes the most sense for co-ownership situations. So let's back up a bit. A lot of people are in a situation where they're renting a home or an apartment with roommates. With rents in the city at an all-time high, some folks could be paying upwards of $2,000 for their proportion of the rent. Wouldn't a more appealing option be to invest this money towards a mortgage where you're actually gaining equity in a property? The biggest pushback I do hear when discussing co-ownership is, what if it doesn't work out? Or what if my situation changes? I don't want to be stuck in a situation for a really long time. These are both very valid concerns. That is why it is very important to develop and document an exit strategy from the outset so that bad blood doesn't arise and relationships don't get ruined. For example, one option would be to develop a 5-year selling plan, meaning all parties would have to commit to a 5-year period of co-ownership, at which point they would collectively sell the property and distribute the funds accordingly. There are several different configurations and contingencies to consider with home ownership to be successful. If this is something that interests you, I'd be happy to discuss and eventually set up a plan in conjunction with a real estate lawyer. This could be a great option if you're interested in dipping your toes into the real estate market, but don't currently have the individual resources to make it happen. Bye for now. Thanks for listening.